No autograph. Wait till after the show. Okay? Stay in line, be patient, be patient. I'm a sociopath. Hey, how you doing? I'm glad you made it. I was waiting for you all day. It's been a few days. Been a few days. So, off gate, I'm going to go ahead and say that this will be my last YouTube video till my next one. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I will make no more YouTube videos after this video until the next time I make a video. In fact, I promise you I will not appear on YouTube till the next time after this one. So I'm glad you got here for this one. Because this is sort of a summarization of the, we'll call it this week in the Slab City community. How about that? So, I'm not paying attention to the chats because in vision, I'm about a mile away. But I will go back and read, so please fill it up. Chat amongst yourselves, have fun with it. I love watching the conversation later. It's almost like two different things for me. This that I do here, and then when I come back later, I watch what y'all say, and like you'll be like, "What's up, GJB?" I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" While I'm looking at it later. So I'm very grateful that you're here, and I will read what you write. Everything you write will get read, unless of course it gets blocked or whatever. Then we're retracted, and then I won't. But I do intend to. So, man, I tell you, dude, the gift heard around the world in the Slab City community is this guitar that I was given by Big Nick Digger, aka OG Digger. He's got 17 accounts, so we know who I'm talking about, Randy. All right, so let's first get the truth out there from my side. I heard his stream earlier today. What he said was the truth, so if you didn't hear it, here's the deal. There was no apologies made on either side. It's not like he called up and was like, "Yo, man, I'm so sorry. I talked shit and I trolled you. That I'm gonna buy you a guitar to make good and see if I can get your friendship back somehow." That never happened. From the get-go last year, when I first got in contact with Big Nick Digger, after the trolling started and stuff, I wanted to interview him to put a voice to the troll and to see, what makes this dude tick. He was, to me at the time, the most effective troll. Like he was knowledgeable, so he had paid a lot of attention. If you weren't around back then, in July of last year, let's say, Goonies Farm was the big channel that everybody was watching. Kaz really wasn't doing live streams, so far as I know. He was uploading videos, and at the time, late July, he was kind of having it out, we'll say, with Mike Dibble, the leader of Camp Goonies. Undisputedly, he was, the leader of that camp. And Goonies had a good thing going. They do coffee in the morning, the coffee talk or whatever, coffee time, something similar to what we're doing here. He had this guy named Adobe who would sit and read the chat, almost literally every verbatim, everything that someone would write. And then, Mike would do his thing. And if you weren't there, I'll try to bring you to that moment. It sounded something like this. Hey guys, make sure you hit that like button, guys. All right, guys, YouTube likes that like button, guys. And at the end of every video, he would be like, well, hope you guys have a great day, because we are. Anyway, I like the dude a lot. The way he was portrayed, the way he came across on YouTube, I sort of was enamored with. It was what I had thought about Slab City personified into this one person. This sort of everybody works and contributes. Everybody gets a little, we all work for the cause. C-A-U-S-E, not C-U-Z. And you know, the betterment of the community. And I dug it. I even called in the first day I saw them live. The first day I even found Camp Goonies, I called in and got on with Mike and was like, dude, you got me wanting to pack up the family and come on out now. That video is still up. He hasn't taken down the channel. Obviously, he's been incarcerated for over a year now, awaiting trial. So you can go back and you can see that's me who calls in. In fact, Adobe man reads something off of the chat that I said, and then I called in. So a lot has happened in the years since that. As I was saying, at that time, Kaz really wasn't doing live streams, so far as I know, but he was upset that this one instance was that Mike had used solar mics, the Sunworks name, in his promotion for, they were doing a fundraiser to get money to pay for this massive solar system that was being put together. This was Cal Sherpa, Dan Green working as the electricians, some other helping hands. Even just before that, I believe, it might have been just before that, he might be in the room, he could tell you, Evan was there. Evan was, Eljo was there. These guys were hands-on helping build this camp, and they were going to have this massive solar system that was going to supposedly pump water from the canal into the camp, clean it, and redistribute it for not only the animals and the garden, but for everybody, for use. And it was a massive solar system and a massive idea. It was no rinky-dink solar system. And okay, so and you can go back and watch this now. The fundraiser's still up, but Mike and them had the Sunworks written on pieces of paper up during their live stream. And Kaz had said essentially that you can't use the Sunworks name without paying for it. And then I made a comment. Remember, I'm just a guy who's watching at this point. I made a comment on one of Kaz's videos saying, to me, that just boils down to free advertisement. And if solar Mike isn't paying any money, then Mike Dibble, Camp Goonies Mike, doesn't owe him any money. And the first time Kaz reacted to anything I'd said or done or anything, he put, at the time, the avatar for this video, for this channel, was Dempsey, a picture of my, at the time, 3-year-old. And I was watching a Kaz video, and there he puts my comment up, and there's Dempsey in my comment. This is what made me change it to the thumbs up. So I was like, I can't be in here commenting shit all about this adult stuff and then have people ridicule my comments with my son sitting there. I got to do something about that. That is the birth of the thumbs up for this channel. So, fast forward to the beginning of July, Mike gets arrested. Kaz puts a video out 2 days after the arrest that seems like he, almost as if he didn't even realize that he was arrested. And it happened at, just outside of Slab City, the upper or lower canal, whichever, and essentially in Slab City for all intents and purposes. I made a video talking about what had happened, and then I made another follow-up video saying that Kaz might want to go live more often so he can actually be on top of the news coming out of Slab City. In a nutshell, that's what I said. Well, then Community Kaz did something that has forever changed this channel as we know it. He gave it attention live. Attic Brats knows. Attic Brats found this clip. I didn't see it happen. Attic Brats, the clip, the video went up. Attic Brats pulled the clip and sent it to me on an email and said, yo, maybe you want to check into this. And in that clip, Kaz said, if I don't keep my nose, it was something like this. I'll try to mimic it. Yeah, good job, buddy. If you don't keep your nose out of Slab City, I'm gonna fuck Amber. And I was like, hold up. So if I keep reporting on, talking about Slab City, somehow you're gonna have sex with my wife. Is that what we're talking about? And it became YouTube beef #1 for this channel, the first drama that this channel saw. It also grew my channel exponentially. For the next couple weeks, my channel went from like 23 subscribers to 500 over the course of a couple weeks because of a fight with community cause. And I saw the benefit in that, obviously. And for me, it was a win, obviously. You know, I mean, shit. I didn't have to do much. I fought every night. I put up a video, and every morning he put up a video. And we just went at it, talked a lot of shit. And then it ran its course. I kind of stole one of his moderators, Kathy Jones, in a way. She didn't come on as Kathy Jones to moderate my channel. She did come on and moderate it. She's a hidden mod. I don't know. I felt good about the way that went. And then in the end, a truce was found. All right, so that's that. Okay. At the same time, as I'm doing this, I'm like, okay, I think I see a window here to kind of talk about what I see happening in the Slab City video community as a way to hold up this channel. I can talk about what I see. I'm pretty articulating what I see. I have experience in radio. I can use that experience to my benefit. Throw in playing some guitar, maybe sing in the chat room, some of the other minor talents that I have, and hey, I got a little hobby. That's what it became. I had this troll who would not stop it with my wife's shit. Okay, when Kaz did that, I ended up talking about the sexual assault that happened to my wife. All right, that opened the whole can of whoop ass, and it for every troll that was like liquid gold, and has been ever since. It's like, you know, I'm untrollable. I love to say I'm untrollable. Thank you. I saw some blue, just flew right past. Thank you. You know, I say I'm untrollable. That's tongue in cheek. Everybody's trollable. But, you know, I made a song, Untrollable, and it was like a way to poke back at the trolls, particularly Big Nick Digger. They knew how to get under my skin, but it was vis-a-vis my wife. You know, it was like, if you can get her upset, you can get him upset, because I got to live with her. Let me rephrase that. I am blessed to live with her, and I mean that. I'm not even fucking bullshitting. I love that woman. So, and yeah, man, like, none of y'all would do that shit to my face. All of you. B&D, Charles, Tell-All, none of you. Cause none of you would. In fact, you probably wouldn't want to. We probably get along pretty well anyway. You wouldn't do that. You just wouldn't. This is because it's YouTube that you do that stuff. I get that. And I asked for that. My wife didn't. So I had to, like, we had a come to Jesus moment, me and her. I was like, okay, look, I either can keep on doing this or I can stop doing this. It's up to you. Now, she's my wife. She wants me to be happy. She saw that I was having a good time with this. So she didn't want me to stop doing it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use each opportunity to create content out of it. And then I just went at it with people who would talk shit. If trolls don't talk shit, I'm going to go at it. One of the ways I thought to humanize BND, which might help to, I wasn't necessarily trying to stop the trolling at all. Matter of fact, if you watch the first interview, I'm asking questions like, how'd you get started down this? What do you get out of it? You know, and you quickly learn when you talk to him the first time that his whole thing, essentially at the beginning, especially at the beginning, was that he thought Zane Green was full of shit. And he was, it would have been just fine if he was received differently. It's like he would go in there and be like, oh, Zane, bullshit, you're not going to do this, that, the other. You're just, you know, a dude who, a deadbeat dad who left his kids behind, and you're just dragging people through this fake-ass gold quest. You're not going to find gold. You're not going to do. Essentially, he's calling it out the way he sees it, right? And the hobo army is like, you know, fuck you, dude. You just hate on Zane. You know, he would say aliens a fucking meth head, and people are like, you know, show me the proof he's not a meth head, and you know, so he had his reputation. B&D had his reputation as being the most hated troll in the hobo army. While also, because I'll tell you this, because Kathy Jones was like sort of a mama, one of the mamas of the hobo army, right? And in my private conversations with her, she told me that, because I was new at this still, it was last year, roughly like a year ago now. She's like, hey, as far as B&D is concerned, he's mostly harmless. And she claimed I can tell him I can steer him. He's not going to go over the rails. He has a lot of accounts. He'll just keep coming back. He's really just trolling for the humor in it. She helped me see that side of it, right? Like, which helped me to go, which kind of convinced me actually, even though I don't think she wanted me to want to interview him the first time. All right, so I go to interview B&D, and I got a lot of like backlash for that because people are like, you're giving this troll a voice and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, well, here's also your chance to hear what he sounds like. I can maybe put him on the spot, and we can see if this dude even has any feelings, if he has a heart, if he is human. Because I know that when you're existing in just little clips and phrases, you can tend to be you can come across as heartless, as inhuman, that kind of shit, right? Because you exist in just these troll phrases, things that you're just saying. And unless you understand why, or the what is driving him to do this, you wouldn't know if he's just some heartless asshole or if this is just fun and games, whatever. So I interviewed him. I did that, took the backlash on it. People unsubbed me and all that shit, and we got through it. During that time, talking to him on the phone off of the air and shit, I was like, this dude's got a lot of personality, regular guy, same age as me, kind of the same kind of upbringing as me. And even at that moment, I was like, I think in a different world, if I had grown up in California over there near him, or he in North Carolina near me, we probably would have been friends. This YouTube thing created the division because of his likes and dislikes, and then what I'm doing. All right, so driven by different motivations, two people who don't know each other in real life, this is what you get. You get a YouTube beef with ups and downs, right? Like his first interview on Scrappin' Dude's channel, he mentions Good Job Buddy or GJB no less than 25 times, and all of it's credit. Like, credit to Good Job Buddy for being the first to do this, credit to Good Job Buddy for standing the ground doing this, credit for Good Job Buddy for having thick skin here, credit to Good Job Buddy for being the pioneer of this, that, and the other. He was giving me shit tons of credit, and at the time, I know, just like now, Scrappin' Dude hated me. So if anything, B&D's over there on Scrappin' Dude's channel just plug, you can't pay for that kind of advertisement. It was, I was like, almost as if we had worked it out behind the scenes. We hadn't. All right, I know I'm skipping some things, and I start saying things sometimes and I forget. And probably some people are trying to remind me, and I'm blind, so I'll try to reel myself in. All right. So I fast forward to another agenda. So for a while, off the air, Evan and I were cool. Like, we talked. Him and his significant other tried to help me get glasses at one point. Just cool people, nice people. And then I did an interview with Nikki Bailey, and she did her truth-telling tell-all from Slab City. Nikki Bailey had spent time, and she had been one of us observing Slab City from the outside, and then a mod, I believe, on Kaz's channel for a while, or at least a prominent member of Kaz's chat. She moved to Slab City, spent some time there in Kaz's company. And then when she left, she wanted to do a tell-all. I was grateful and she was gracious to come on my show and do the tell-all on my channel. And to this day, I'm very grateful, Nikki, for you doing that, because Nikki and I didn't get along. She didn't like me at all. In fact, she even said when she was proposing this, I don't really like you, but I know this would be the way to do this. So that's what we decided to do. Nikki Bailey does her interview with me, pretty explosive. She said a lot of things that, came out of left field. Cause does an immediate reaction to that, mostly directed at Nikki, but in a couple instances he's kind of pissing me for the way I handled it as a quote-unquote journalist. Now, I'm not a journalist, but I do pretend to be one. So then there's this, and at one point last year, it was like, let's have a charity fight, me and Cause. And that never went anywhere. Well, he re-announces, we'll have this charity fight. Good job, buddy, since you want to interview Nikki Bailey. Well, that starts up, a few days later, Evan, Slab City News Evan, has this, he wants to do this big bomb drop video. It's Ambergate, truth about good job, buddy kind of shit. And I'm like, what is this? And essentially what Evan did was use, if you go after Amber, Eddie will get involved. Eddie gets involved, it'll become a thing. It becomes YouTube beef. Lots of people pay attention to it because of its complete idiocracy that happens on these YouTube beefs. And Evan had an agenda. In Evan's eyes, he thought that Mike Dibble, okay, see how we're getting around to everything? Camp Goonies, was being wrongfully accused in the public, or wrongfully convicted in the public eye for what he had been accused of. And he was trying to draw attention to that. That was his agenda. The way he went about that was to fire off at the, let's face it, the biggest live stream in the community, okay? I'm not bragging, at the time, when I did live streams, the people came, and it's pretty much been that way since like December of last year. When Zane got sober and quit doing what he had been doing, there was a void there, and I jumped in it. I filled it. So that plus this is a nighttime show pretty consistently, and I talk about things that we all are interested in. We watch this stuff, and I give a wide open format to anybody to say whatever. Now, at some point I did try to clean up my channel because I wanted to steer it really just into interviews. And, we make mistakes and we live and we learn. It doesn't mean that I won't eventually, I'd like to eventually just record interviews and upload them for people who are interested in them, and then do the live thing as a totally separate deal. That's sidetracking again. So more beef comes, right? Me and Evan fire away at each other, and that goes off for a little while. During that time, Evan grabbed a hold of Big Nick Bigger, was like, I could use your fiery attitude to help me to keep Good Job Buddy on his toes. And that's essentially the way I saw that marriage, what eventually would become the 33rd, as we know now. So you had Evan and some trolls. At the time, they were mostly just trolls, Tallywhacker, B&D, and they were fighting with me. And, they went hard at Cal Sherpa, and I stuck up for Cal Sherpa. Cal didn't want anything to do with it. To his credit, he stayed pretty much off of that. He stayed completely off of it on his own channel. And when I tried to clean up my channel, the first person I modded was Cal Sherpa. So then Cal blocks B&D one night. B&D and I have it out on the telephone. That's how Evan and B&D connected. I had actually had B&D call in, and then I yelled at him and wouldn't let him talk, and I hung up on him. I was pretty childish, actually. It was honestly, I've never apologized for it because it's just content, fun, and he's never apologized because same reason. And really, none of us have. Kaz never apologized, and I don't require an apology. And I don't feel like anybody necessarily deserves one from me. The only apology I think that needs to be said in this community, really, and if it's not an apology, at least a recognition, Scrappin' Dude needs to tell people that nobody made bomb threats, because that didn't happen. That's all. If that happens, I'm done with that beef too. That's all I care about on that whole thing. He knows. Maybe eventually we'll deal with that. And don't use YouTube to fight your battles for you. If you're going to get into a YouTube beef, don't then go, okay, YouTube, can you get me out of this, please? Just take the fucking L. If you're going to get it, take it. All right. We're just warming up. So, the beef between me and D&D is really just creator troll beef that has not ever been anything worse than that. And sometimes I might come across as so mad and just like I'll beat the wheels off you. That's still creator troll beef. It's words, man. And for my whole life, people chirp. There's a difference when it's face to face, that kind of stuff, you know, or it gets physical. That never happened in any of these YouTube beefs. None of these people, none of them are responsible for what happened to Amber. None of them. None of them are responsible for my life since then. I am. So it's up to me to get back on my feet and get my shit together. And you know, what happened felt like it tied my hands up and made it where I gotta be around all the time and I gotta watch after, make sure. But that's all on me. I gotta fix that in me. You know, they say, and I've said it before, resentment is like drinking a cup of poison and hoping your enemy dies. It just eats you from within. So as far as never forgetting about what D&D said about me, man, or said about Amber, I forgot what it was. Literally, I did. I mean, I know the gist of it, but I kind of did forget exactly what it was that he said. You know, like you, Kaz, a lot of people said things about me or Amber or my family, lots of things, thousands of things over the last year, literally thousands of things, negative, have been said about me or my family over the last year. I couldn't remember anyway, even if I wanted to. And it's in the past, you know, like we've done this. We've been there, we've done this. And so leading up to me getting this guitar, there was no like expectation of friendship or buddy because of this guitar. We had already established that we could probably be cool with each other on the phone way back when I was pre-interviewing him before the first interview. In the way of that. But in reality, and by the way, I'm not the only one. Kathy Jones said he's a pretty cool guy before I got to know him. Cal Sharpa even said at one point, he's a pretty cool guy in real life, and maybe not on the YouTube, but in real life. So he came, B&D came with plenty of accolades from others who have since beefed with him. So it's not, it's just YouTube beef. All right, so I wrote down some things I'm probably not even going to be able to get into because it probably look weird to these people who are playing on the swings at 11 o'clock night. And I'll get into that in a minute. All right, take a little half break. So the autograph seekers are playing on the swings, they get bored. Autographs. I got my pen. All right, so Kaz. And some of the people who are in Kaz's chat, I don't get your fucking, I don't even know where you're coming from with some of the shit you're saying lately. Like, you donate to Kaz and you give Kaz things. I'm not saying, you're insinuating that your donations to Kaz are ways for you to buy his friendship when you say that B&D is trying to buy my friendship by donating me a guitar. You see? So when you donate Kaz some weed or cash or batteries or something, I mean, if you're not trying to buy his friendship, why can't he be afforded the same when he's sending me a guitar? He sees that there's a void in my life that could be filled with a guitar. And he's like, I can do that. You know, $1 to one person, the value of $1 to one person is totally different than the value of $1 to another person, dependent on their economical situation. So he's like, for me, it's this little, and for him, it's this much. You know, I can't believe I'm having to explain this to a 50-year-old plus man. But I digress. So that's what happened here, man. You know, we're not buddy. We have talked and we aren't beefing and we're not gonna. You know, and I hate to be, I've always said this too, man. I don't believe in like people getting jealous of people on YouTube. Like what Sam said earlier today, I don't think anybody's jealous of Sam and Sam's situation. If, in fact, if anything, they may be sad for him. They, you know, Sam is like like if a woman slept with him, it would be just a mercy fuck. You know, he's that kind of, he's like a wounded old dog. And and by the way, Sam, you're a sociopath. And it's why you have dogs. It's why you keep the company of animals, because that unconditional love is good for you because you couldn't meet any condition, you know? And you'll steal dogs because sociopaths can do that. They can, it doesn't bother them. They don't have any, there's nothing in your head telling you that that's wrong. There's no baseline of right and wrong for you, Sam. So no, we're not jealous, man. And man, going number 2 for me is such a private thing. I'm shocked when people put that shit on YouTube, man. Like, both of you, Kaz and Sam, you both fucking have videos with you taking a shit. And I don't get it. It takes a special kind of narcissist to be like, hey, I'm gonna let you watch me defecate. Okay, I ate some food and it did everything it needed to do through my stomach and done all that, and I've absorbed the nutrients from it that my body's going to take. So now I'm going to have some waste, and I'm going to allow you in on it. That's a special kind of fucking narcissist to me. Both you two. But I do know that in Slab City, if you don't shit in public, it's punishable by death. Like, they need to know if this is human compost or animal compost. And if they don't, they will stone you to death. Other things punishable by death in Slab City. You can walk around with a quarter bag of weed all day long. If you have a quarter bag of Cheetos and you don't share, punishable by death. By the way, murder in Slab City, just punishable by like 2 days without shade. Love me some Cheetos though. I get the Cheetos thing. Alright, and since this is my last video until my next one, I want to make sure that I get this on the record. Sam, your interview of Dog Lips has made me rethink the way I do interviews. From now on, I'm only going to do them in person, and when I do, I'm going to make sure the lights are off, and then I'm probably holding hands with the person that I'm interviewing. And I'm going to ask them if it's okay to ask them questions. And when they say no, I'm just not going to ask questions. That's it. I didn't think about that before you did it. So I will credit you with that style. You said it was going to be an epic interview, and man, was it. I mean, man, was it? What'd you even meet up with a dude for? That was the most epic fail. And you're a dude who's stolen a dog. Pretty impressive. I do think that maybe you were trying to get just close to his dog, though. I do. I think something about that. Something about a sociopath having dogs that is both scary to the animals, scary to humans who like animals or care about animals. And it's a necessary thing for a sociopath. Because if you're around humans, they tend to call you out on your sociopathic tendencies. You have to show love, empathy, things like that. And you don't really have to do that to animals. You know, you got to rub them on the belly, and once a month when you get your check, you can buy a big bag of food. And then it's it. Like, you wake up in the morning, you fucking do your hair, you know, you brush your teeth, and you open the door and you mush them out. I saw you mush the dog that you stole, Black Lassie, you mushed, this is a mush in case y'all don't know, hand plant over the face, mush the dog out the door to go to the bathroom, forcing the dog to go to the bathroom so it doesn't go inside your moving house. By the way, not only doing that, but also smoking right into the dog's, like I could hear you rubbing the dog and patting on it, and you know, you like to talk with a cigarette in your mouth, so it looks like, oh, I can do it, hang on. There's Sam. Shit. Here's Sam. Y'all just jealous that I can go wherever I want to go and not have to pay for anything ever again. And you're rubbing the dog's belly, and the ashes are flying all over the dog and blowing smoke in his face. That dog's already got stage 2 cancer, man. Might as well just keep it. They don't want you to bring that thing back. You're going to bring that dog back with stage 4 cancer. Here you go. Here's your dog. Here, let me help you get the tumor off the ground. Here you go. That's what you're going to do. And man, yeah, I'm still on about it because I am really pissed about that, dude. You stole a family dog. Telling me you're going to bring it back in a year. They'll either replace the dog, move themselves. You know, we thought the dog ran away and got killed. They've gone over their grieving and everything else. Or maybe got a new dog and you're going to try to bring the old dog back into their lives. You might as well keep it and just get off of YouTube. And the people who pretend to support him, you don't support him. You don't support that shit. You don't. You're on eggshells around him because you're afraid he's going to block you. Man, Cadillac Sam ain't nothing but Cadillac Sam. He only cares about Cadillac Sam. He only has the depth of empathy to care about himself. It's it. You introduce humans into his life. We've seen it. You introduce humans into his life. If they can't consistently provide for him, he turns on them too. And that's a good thing about the dogs is they can provide the thing that he needs, which is just warm bodies near him, somebody to talk to that won't talk back, and that provide unconditional, never-ending, endearing love, even at the hands of an abuser. Not only the abuse of smoking all over them and that kind of shit, but driving them in the car all the time and making them live in a 10-by-8 home. And yeah, man, I know you stop in the middle of nowhere and you let them out for a few minutes. That's no life to have. That dog Xena is terrified now. You have to drug her up to even get her down the road. If you weren't on YouTube, I know you would have many more animals in that car. You're just disgusting, man. You're a disgusting human being, bro. That's how I really feel about you. No YouTube beef, nothing. Like, we could turn it all off and just focus me to you, Eddie to Sam. You're disgusting, Sam. You need to change your life. It starts with taking that dog back and then going about making amends. Stop blaming people. If everybody would just stop and think, why do we all have to stop and think? Like, I can keep moving and think pretty well. You're always telling people, they just need to stop and think. You had already taken the dog from where the dog was when you got to Walmart and got quote-unquote doxxed. That Walmart is just a couple miles from where the park where you took the dog from. On your way out, you could have dropped the dog back off. Right there at the park. Just left him there. He could get his way back home. She'd come find him. You stole the dog, Sam. Tally is a scapegoat for you. I'm not surprised that you would use a scapegoat because you use animals for everything. Fifi. Get out of here. How comfortable is that conversation between Dog Lips and Sam the other night when Sam is like, Dog Lips has been out of the picture, you know, getting restraining orders from North Carolina all the way to California. Sam is like, you know, all they had to do was stop and ask me. And I'd have told them why I use a condom to masturbate. and for my Fifi. It's for my Fifi and to masturbate. I'm absolutely 100% certain that Dog Lips had his hand on his door like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of my own vehicle. That's what that had to be like for Dog Lips. You got two into that, man, by the way. Border Collie, the channel Border Collie, props to you for that video. Keep making those videos, y'all, and if I don't see them, somebody please let me know that they're out there. I didn't get to see Border Collies till today. I want to see these videos that y'all are making about this shit. I think it's fucking hilarious. They're on point, all of them. And yes, we all saw that dark green Explorer. I think that Border Collie is going to actually do the work and get either Border Collie or the person who's got Toyota and then the tag number and all that shit as their avatar. You two are on point. You're doing it. Way to go. Thank you. It's heartwarming to know that people give a shit. Please keep doing what you're doing. And real adults with real brains can fish that dog back home and get Sam back on the road. Or we can all be jealous of his travels all over Colorado. Man. All you had to do was stop and ask me. And I know Tally did ask you. Exactly what he did was, hey Sam, what's the condom for? And you didn't answer. Then he was getting his phone out to take a picture of it, and you fucking threw it in the fire. So Tally did stop and ask you. You weren't quick enough on your toes to think of the Fifi back then. I can't even say Fifi without laughing, man. Ugh. Sam. How bad is it that you're alright with saying that you fuck a Pringles can with a condom instead of the alternative? Because the alternative is you're having sex with your animals and you have a micro penis. You don't even need to use regular condoms. You can use finger condoms. Yeah, boy. We at school. And it looks like Cos is sticking up for Sam, even though Cos, you didn't see any actual police anywhere, came and said, yeah, Sam, you can take the dog. You're just believing what Sam says now all of a sudden. So Sam makes up shit about you. And, you know what Sam made up about you. I knew he made that up about you, because Sam lies about 95% of the shit that comes out of Sam's mouth is a fucking lie. On YouTube, anyway. And you're like, yeah, he lies all the time and about everything, except for, I believe that the cops told him he can have that dog. Sure, bro. Sure, never forget. Always remember, man. Always remember. Or never forget. All right, over the last year plus, I've gotten maybe 8 to 10, 11 emails from people who literally were talking about, thinking about, wanted to go to Slab City and thought that they would ask me what they should do, how they should be prepared, or whether or not they should even go. They were wanting my advice, like maybe 8 to 10 emails from people. Early on, the first couple of emails, people thought I lived in Slab City. And I never misrepresented that I lived in Slab City on my responses to them. But my responses have pretty much wholly been, watch this person, watch that person, see what you think, that kind of stuff. But now I think I might even go back, because the emails are in my, they're there. They're in the archives. I can find them. I might go back and just let them know a few things. They need to know before heading out to Slab City, if indeed you think you might want to go. You should always remember. Of course, we talked about this. You have to shit in public in Slab City. You need a witness. You have to have somebody there who can witness that a human being absolutely put that shit in that bucket. If not, you're going to mix up your animal compost and your human compost. That's a big fat Slab City no-no. That can get you, it says here, punishable by death. So, serious shit. you've got to be able to be okay with shitting in public, i.e. Sam White has no problem taking a crap and making sure he videotapes it and lets us all watch it. Oh God, you cannot enter Slab City without at least 10 gallons of water. Facts. You can get water nearby for like 25 cents a gallon, I've heard. So 25 bucks, you have to go pay the piper, bring the water. Probably the best way to get the water to the right people is to go directly to the yellow camp, that's community cause, take the water to him. He will redistribute it to himself. Unless, of course, you're going to East Jesus. If you're going to East Jesus, same rule applies as the water, but it's beer, not water. So strike the word water, replace that with beer if you're going to East Jesus. Again, these two things, if you don't do them, they are punishable by death. What is required to make an eco-village? I've had this asked of me at least a handful of times, right? A dirty handful, as a matter of fact. And so far as I can see, an eco-village is, of course, pooping in public. No running water and no electrical feed, like no city or public utilities or any other utility feeding you electricity, then you pretty much qualify as an eco-village, so far as I can tell. Shame game. Shame game is huge. You've got to be on your shame game. In Slab City, the shame game goes something like this. If I'm a slabber and I've been there for 5 years, I have tenure over you. You've been here for a year. If you're gifted something by someone and don't immediately give that to me, I will shame you. I will shame you so much that you will feel terrible about yourself, and within a week you'll end up giving it to me anyway. And if you don't, that's punishable by being burned out. Look up that. I'm not even going to get into being burned out. That does not mean getting high, and neither does being stoned. You want to be on YouTube? You got to ask community cause. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Always remember, i.e. never forget, you're going to Slab City and you want to do anything on YouTube, ask community cause. Mr. Beast did not ask community cause, and he's dead. Speaking of community, there is a community cum bucket. And I think they trade that out each year. I think last year her name was Wendy. I don't remember exactly. I was so gracious that we were offered. We got a letter straight from the Eco Village. It had like Eco Village. The lettering at the top was Eco Village. What do they call that letterhead? Of course, it's written in mud with finger, but it's was requesting that I give them my wife to be the community cum bucket for this year, and we respectfully declined. Maybe next year. No toilet paper. Come on, man. This is eco. We don't do shit we're not gonna fucking kill a tree so you can have a nice clean ass. Are you crazy? We air dry, air clean your ass. So after you take a shit in front of another human being so that they can be sure that that's human fecal matter and not animal fecal matter, again, punishable by death. After you do that, you have to keep your pants down and just walk around until the arid desert air cleans your ass. Sometimes that can take a few days, sometimes months. And if you don't do that, that's punishable by death. And lastly, murder. Again, in Slab City, murder is, it says here, punishable by 2 days without shade. So during the nighttime, that doesn't matter unless it's a full moon, but that's not gonna be, the shade thing doesn't matter there. During the day though, if you don't have shade, you could die. You gotta have shade. So it's almost like a death penalty. So if you murder somebody in Slab City, you'll get 2 days without shade. Maybe you can figure out a way. Maybe it's cloudy. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe. Who knows? So just be careful about murdering Slab City. Hopefully that answers some questions. And yeah, keep them coming. Anybody thinking about going to the Slab should definitely contact me at chimneyvent@gmail.com, because I am, as everybody knows, YouTube's foremost authority on Slab City. I think that's mostly it. I want y'all to remember this, please. Please remember that Cadillac Sam, Samuel White, is a sociopath. He may even be a psychopath. We don't know that, but I know for sure he's a sociopath. And a narcissistic sociopath, whatever, you know. And so, like, look that up. Look up the tendencies, and you'll be able to recognize them pretty easily with Sam. He'll never take blame for what it does. It's up to the community to try to free Black Lassie and get that dog back to where it belongs. And I mean that. Like, a lot of this is jokes and having fun and shit, but I'm fucking serious about that. Absolutely 100%. And for those of you who still think that B&D had to buy my friendship, I guess you're going to have to think that, man. I'm trying to take the high road on this thing and get my calluses built up, because me and my new best bud, we're going to be jamming soon on YouTube. I'll be on the East Coast, he'll be on the West Coast, and we're going to be playing music together. Me and my new best friend, Randy Linville. Randy, I will always remember, and at the same time, never forget that badass guitar, brother. Thank you. It's a Good Job Buddy show. Every which way you go, you could, how's this song go? Yeah, drink us with a beer, stick us in your ear, we'll be right by your heart. It's a Good Job Buddy show. Have a seat, there you go. Thumbs in the air, anywhere that you dare. You'll be doing your part, and I won't be back on till I'm back on.